Cause I'm just gonna stream Siege, cause I got nothing to do. There's nothing to do except talk about like 40k lore with you. I never got into it. Never got into Elder Scrolls.
Star Wars. Like
I know a
you
bit,
watched?
a tiny bit.
No, you never
I
watched Star
know.
Wars: The Clone Wars.
I watched halfway. I watched it while I was on Netflix, but like
Yeah,
my
but
brain
did
had
you?
it didn't like fully develop. My brain didn't
Yeah.
fully develop. I was a
No,
little slow.
even then, bro, I was watching just YouTube videos like, why is this happening in Star Wars? Who created droidicas? Like, I had curiosity.
I didn't watch those. I didn't watch those. No, I just watched it. I basically had it like playing in the background. Basically, I
Mm.
watched like bits of it. I remember watching it. I do remember watching it. Wait, who the
Yeah,
fuck do I
but no,
play?
back to 40k. Like, there's almost like three parts to it. There's what happened before
Oh,
mankind
this guy.
went to the
Uh,
stars, like all that. Oh, like 10k, but like a million years in the past, up to 10k, right? Or just the
mm,
creation of the universe up to like 10k, and then 10k to like 22k, and then 22k almost to like 40k. Yeah.
okay. Oh, I could switch my operator. Okay.
So the creation of the mankind of man, the empire of man was in the middle, right? We had from like our current year, up to like fucking 22k, created like androids, cyborg humans, warp drives that weren't that strong, and a bunch of spaceships and different parts of the galaxy being explored and conquered. And then for some reason, there was warp storms because people started getting psychic powers in large amounts. Remember, like I said, Mars and Earth were almost like worldwide planets, like economically, right? And then Mars was terraformed. Remember me saying that?
Yeah.
But with the
So
dark age of technology, was like, no, I'm saying that wrong. Fucking with the warp storms that happened, it caused mankind to rely on AI. Now you're never going to see AI 40 in Space Marine, right? Like you've never seen that, right? It's because of
nah.
this time period. Of course, like mankind with Emperor Man, they defeated all the AI and it's been outlawed. Now what 40k does,
Yeah, I fucking knew it.
yeah, what they do to
Yeah.
replace it, any soldier or person or space marine even that fucks up in a way or just is in the wrong place, wrong time, like a prisoner or just someone they think is worshiping chaos, they can get turned into a servitor. Servitor has like half their brain missing. There's a
Yeah.
fucking,
Okay.
yeah.
I had an idea what the servitor was. Yeah, I seen him
Mm-hmm.
in like Space Marine 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's.
Some servitors literally are meant to turn on a door. Like when you're walking through the spaceship, that's what a servitor does. They open the
Yeah,
door, close the door.
I seen
That's
him.
that's all they do. That for thousands and thousands of years. A
I seen
servitor,
him. Yeah.
yeah. Or they can be
I
like, you
seen.
know, the little like the you saw the flying like babies, the cherubs.
Yeah, I seen those. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
those are
Wait, these
servitors.
are
That was
these
a
are also
person.
servitors?
That was a person that had half their brain cut out. Yeah, straight up. Hmm.
Yeah. Those
And
are servitors.
that was from the influence of the Emperor of Man. And he's also called the Omnissiah from the people who lived on Mars. Now, the people on Mars, they never really had the spiritualistic input from like our cultures. They didn't really follow Christianity. They followed their belief of machine spirits and technology. That's what Omnissiah means. That's what they see the Emperor Man as, because he's the Emperor Man. It's overplayed, like he's the cliche, like he's super smart, he's super strong, he lives forever, he can't outshine. He's literally like Aryan Captain America, like straight up. But
Aryan Captain America.
his biggest fault is that the Emperor Man hates religion to such a degree that he does not want to speak of even the existence of the warp. So it's like everything that could go wrong, right? The possessions and like the influence and corruption from the warp, people aren't prepared for it. So across almost the entirety of the 20k Emperor, like humanity, it's not really the Emperor Man at that point, but the entirety of that of the human race, they were overwhelmed, and like there were coup d'etats on certain planets. There was warp creatures that killed all the ciphers on planets. There were chaos cults, and this created like the first dark age in 40k, like galactic level. So it all fell apart. That empire fell apart in like 100 years. And because of like that corruption I'm talking about, there was a nuclear war on Earth. All the oceans are dried out. Mars got dried out again. It didn't become barren, but it became a massive desert. And so it gets terraformed again for a second time. Like that's how bad 40k is with like warfare. But the Emperor Man stayed on Earth and he conquered Earth for himself. He then created the Empire Man. There's a good like Amber King story of like that's a YouTuber, Amber King, of the Emperor of Man going from like I'm pretty sure he started out like in America, and then he goes to England, Germany, Central Russia, and that was basically it. That was like the holdouts of people on Earth, and they're all called techno barbarians because like straight up it only took like 300 years, like 25k, right?
Yeah.
For Earth to just be completely desolate. Like it went from like trillions down from billions to just millions of people. And that's all the Emperor Mankind had to take over, but there's no resources. There's no economy at all. But what he did was he created Thunder Warriors. These guys were literally souped up like fucking the biggest gym rat you've ever seen had a foot on them. They're not space marines because they can't live that long. They're not regular humans because they have massive amounts of steroids in them. They damn near have cancer tumors all over them because there's no atmosphere from the nuclear wars. The atmosphere got thinned out on Earth. But they're walking tanks, just like Space Marines. He conquered the Earth with them, but because he knew all the steroids and void rage from those Thunder Warriors were happening, he killed them all. So,
Too powerful.
yeah, at the end of it all, that was about like, I believe, around 28k years in the future. That was they were like the Thunder Warriors, the Dark Angels, which was the first Legion of Space Marines, and then the Custodies. Now,
I'm like, no one is.
he only conquered the rest. He only like had control over Earth and Mars at that time. He had to fight to take over Earth, but Mars, they still saw the Emperor Man as the Omnicide. So Mars helped produce all the exoskeletons, the guns, the spaceships, and the gunships, like the fighter jets for the Dark Angels, and the Custodies. Now it takes like
You got your audio included too.
yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
I'm getting fucked up. I'm just gonna tell you this. No, I'm getting placed with these fucking emeralds and shit. Like I have not played this shit in a while, man.
But that's a good example. That's a good example. So the Custodies are up there with emeralds, right? Or even higher, right? That's the baseline of Custodies. Any Space Marine probably are not ever going to reach Emerald rank. Like the skill level and the armor level. Like imagine if that was how it worked in Siege. It wasn't just skill level. You got more like hit points.
Yeah.
And better guns and all that. That's what the Custodies are. They are the cream of the crop. The Space Marines are literally like the Marine Corps. In a way.
Marines.
Like, they're supposed to be able to go in, conquer, and set up for the rest of the military to come in, but they are not like what the emperors like even wanted to rely on forever. What I'm getting at is that because of the Roid Rage, the Emperor used the Custodies and the Space Marines to kill the Thunder Warriors. You imagine, he used them for about like 200 years or so to conquer Earth and the Tecton Barbarians. And he had to turn around and kill them. Because they were an unreliable tool. And so, while he was doing that, like creating both like the first Space Marine, like the first couple Space Marine chapters, and creating just a couple more Custodians, and then killing the Thunder Warriors, because he's a perfect, all-knowing being, right? He had gene experiments and
Gene hacking.
no gene therapy, like science, right? Into creating almost the perfect generals and governors to reconquer the entirety of like humankind. These were the Primarchs. He used some other like people to help him create it. There was a woman. There was the woman is also perpetual, but I don't remember her name. She hates what the Emperor was going to use their children for. But also there was oh my god, I remember. There was another perpetual who was a good psyker. That was almost like the uncle to a couple of Primarchs.
Uncle Bunko. Oh.
I'm trying to look it up. Malkador, the Sigillite. He was there from the Unification Wars to reunite Earth, right? And those three people were the most important people in the entirety of humankind. I'm saying trillions of people across the entire galaxy, all located on Earth. They created 20 demigods because the Emperor of Mankind was able both to like convince and make deals with maybe possibly minor warp gods. 20 of them go into these new gene created and crafted humans. Do you want me to say all their names? I mean, it kind of matters, not, but say. Alright then, no. But this is good. So basically, each Primarch has a different personality that goes into their legions. But what happened was with the Emperor and Malkador the Sigillite, and then that and the one yeah, Erda, Erda. She possibly, along with the rest of like the 4 big Chaos Gods, launched all of the Emperor's sons. And the most important of them was like Sanguinius, Gilliman, Lionel Johnson, Horus, and I would say like Magnus, the Red. Yeah, those like 5 Primarchs are some of the more important ones. They were all launched across the entirety of the galaxy, but at the same time they landed on worlds occupied by humans. Now, of those 20, 2 are never heard of or spoken of again, because possibly they landed on planets where humans and aliens got along and they accepted aliens as fellow beings, as like countrymen, you know, but the Emperor doesn't like that. He didn't jive with that. And then possibly another Primarch of 20 didn't agree with the Emperor at all and had to be killed. But of those 20, about 18 grew to be men and joined the Empire. Now, from the time the Emperor started having at least like I think like 10 functional legions ready to conquer the galaxy, and he started finding new, the Primarchs as he conquered the galaxy and took over the legions, controlled it. There were some hiccups from that time of like what is it, like 29K? No, 30K. From like 30K to like only 31K. 100 years. Conquered the entire galaxy. Now, they managed that because they were able to go not just through like little warp drives, but actual psychic powered warp travel, where it began out easily, but with the Emperor of Man being able to find different like warp nexuses to increase his power, like he would go into the warp, this realm of just magic and full of souls and shit, you know, like these Slanesh being like the slut and shit, Zeech being all tricky. He was able to get more power, but it's never like a known fact that you're going to be in there for, let's say, a week. You could go into the warp trying to reach like destination B and end up at destination C, or you could end up 10 years in the past. where you want to be. Or possibly you'll spend 50 years in the warp and end up where you want to be at the right time, but just very old. Does that make sense? It's never a guaranteed pathway, a reliable travel method. And that's not even the worst part of the warp, because you could go through it and encounter warp creatures and all that. So somewhere down the line, certain space marines wanted to cope with all that fear and uncertainty, especially in the legion of the word bearers. The word bearers had their Primarch named, oh my god, Lorgar. I had a brain fart for saying it. But Lorgar was the most just fanatical, down bad Catholic priest, because he might have been diddled like Catholic priests do. And his fall to chaos was both because he was trying to spread the religion of the Emperor of Man, when the Emperor of Man did not want a religion. He wanted the imperial truth, an atheist understanding of the galaxy being of both psychic, electricity energy, and not psychic warp energy. He didn't want people to know where the energy psychers actually came from. He didn't allow people like Lorgar and Magnus the Red to research and understand it, but he would also punish Lorgar by destroying the world that he had landed on when he was launched into a different human planet. Because like I told you, all of the Primarchs were launched off of Earth when they were babies. Lorgar ended up on a world where they were very religious, and that's what he did with his legion. He spread the religion of the Emperor. But when that happened, when Lorgar was punished for being a very loyal son, for reasons he did not understand and the Emperor Man did not explain, right? Does that make sense to you? He was just punished without a good explanation because, I said so, right? He ended up looking for real gods that would respect him as well. And he went to practically being puppeted by all the Chaos Gods, because those four felt threatened by the Emperor Man. And so it went through Space Marines and Primarchs being afraid of the warp, to then trying to cope, and then trying to adapt on their own without the Emperor. And that allowed them to be corrupted. Now, for different legions and Primarchs, they agreed to be corrupted by certain Chaos Gods because of the situations they found them in of despair. With Mortarion, he fell to Nurgle specifically because Nurgle was going to kill him. It was a situation where one of Mortarion's soldiers, his sons that had his gene seed, his attributes, fell to Nurgle before he did, but then also sabotaged Mortarion in during warp travel, and he had to rely on the Chaos God just to survive, just to live. And that happened to 9, literally half of the surviving Primarchs. So it's people like Fulgrim, who fell specifically to Slaanesh, Mortarion with Nurgle, and then Alfarius kind of to Tzeentch, Angron specifically to Khorne. You got Korn, Slanesh, Miracle, yeah. But then there was Horus. Horus wasn't the strongest, the smartest, or even the most psychically gifted, but he was the most charismatic and strong-willed of any Primarch. Because just like the Thunder Warriors, they were all larger than any other human most people would ever see in their lives. That's how Space Marines were. And that's how the Primarchs were in comparison to the Space Marines. Because they were at least, all Primarchs were like 10 feet tall. Some Space Marines at that time, in like 30k, would reach 10 feet tall. Most were like 9, maybe 8. But then there's like standouts. Like Vulcan was like 15 feet, I think. And Vulcan somehow keeps growing larger and larger. He's like 18 or 20 feet tall now in 40k. Some shit. But Horus was able to slowly fall under the influence of all 4 Chaos Gods. So he didn't have the impulsivity and like addiction of Slanesh like controlling him, or Zinch just manipulating him, or even Korn making him bloodthirsty. Horus was almost balanced with all Chaos Gods. So on top of that, having them all boost him, he found himself in another nexus. Not the one that the Emperor of Mankind went into, but he found his own nexus, and he got super powered by that. He went in with a youthful face, and he is immortal, but no wrinkles on his face as well. But when he came out of that nexus of the warp, he had wrinkled. He had been aged, even as a Primarch. It was like he was in there maybe 1,000 years. He had fully been corrupted by chaos. Because the Emperor was able to do like massive projects. He conquered Earth almost on his own. He created all the Primarchs with a little bit of help, right? But he was doing another project on Earth called like the Webway, which would have been in a better way of traveling than going through the warp. But Horus didn't know that the Emperor was doing that. Horus didn't know what the Emperor even like could do. So just that doubt and it building up led him to chaos, and then led him to go to war with the Emperor of Mankind and the other Primarchs that stayed loyal to him. So over that 100 years of conquering the rest of humanity, the galactic spanning like species that we were, Horus, Angron, Fulgrim, and Mortarion, along with some support from the Alpha Legion, from like Alpharius, started the Horus Heresy. And this was started on one planet called Isfan 4. Now that was an ambush attack because it was in a solar system called Isfan. There were like 7 planets, but it started off with, I think, the Alpha Legion saying they needed support from the Salamanders, Iron Hands, and Raven Guard, all loyal legions on Isfan 5. So they tricked them and wanted them to stage like the support mission from Isfan 4. So they all went down there, those 3 legions, almost like 400,000 Space Marines, give or take, on this one planet, ambushed by just about like 300,000, I believe, probably more, of like Horus legions, like Chaos legions, and they killed them. They forced the salamanders to like try to rush them down because the salamanders from Vulcan's legion were like flamethrower troops. Like that's what they specialized in. And like some siege warfare, and then the Iron Hands, they specialize in siege warfare and just like mechanical, like titans and war machines. The Raven Guard specializes in like assassinations and hit and run attacks. So they were almost, each legion that showed up, those three loyal legions, they had to fight to their weakest like strategy. And they lost a lot of the Marines. The Salamander Legion had their Primarch on the ground, same as like the Iron Hands. I don't know about the Raven Guard, but Paris Banis died of the Iron Hands. He's never coming back in the story. I believe he's the Chaos God that was in him, or like his Primarch soul, created an explosion and knocked back. Even like I think Fulgrim killed him, or
Fulcrum.
oh what? No.
Fulcrum.
There's a G in there, Fulgrim. He killed him, and then maybe Lorgar helped kill Paris Manus, but to take down the other Primarch that was there, Vulcan, they had to nuke him. They straight up nuked him to knock him out. And what they did to him for almost like the rest of the Horus Heresy, which was only like 10 years, I think, for like 8 of those years, Vulcan was tortured, killed, and then he would revive himself because he was a perpetual. Killed again. So he was placed in a maze and also like just in a dungeon by Conrad Kurz, another like Horus Heresy Primarch. Conrad Kurz was literally just BDSM edgelord who forced Vulcan to go through a maze. And at the end of it, he could choose either to save himself or kill a couple of his own like soldiers that were captured. But the worst thing about the Horus Heresy again is that like the Emperor died with his mortal form, but his spirit barely kept his soul alive until it was put back onto the Golden Throne. And now, like, in 40k, 10,000 years after that, after the Horus Heresy, the Primarchs from the Ultramarines, Guilliman, and then the Dark Angels with Lionel Johnson are active again. But other than those two, the rest of the Primarchs are either like corrupted or in the warp fighting chaos. Except for Vulcan. I believe Vulcan is straight up like just has amnesia and he's just wandering around the galaxy like Forrest Gump. Now, the reason, like, in Space Marine, why it's not a legion of like maybe like 200,000 Marines or a part of a legion fighting the Tyranids is because it's a chapter. Now chapters are supposed to have 1,000. No, maybe 100. No, 1,000. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, chapters are supposed to have 1,000 Space Marines in them because of the Horus Heresy. Because both legions were not able to adapt quickly to different fighting styles, and because it only took about like 20 high-ranking Space Marines to corrupt an entire legion, including like probably if a Primarch wanted to, they could corrupt an entire legion.
I like this game.
That split up like both the chances of like civil war and stagnation.
Give me that shit.
That's why there's like chapters.
Okay. I've been taking a lot of lore and I've been getting shit on.
It's like the bare minimum, bro. It's like the bare bones, really.
I know. It's like the tip.
Because there are books that cover the history of entire chapters, along with whatever like the story actually is. Because there's like, of all the Primarchs, there are some chapters that have a blend of two Primarchs like personalities in them. Like there's one chapter that has the same colors as the Ultramarines, but they behave a lot more like Blood Angels. And the worst thing about that is that the Blood Angels have like a genetic memory, like, you know, fucking some people who are scared of like cats and are afraid of swimming, like, you know, like genetic memories, that meme, but they straight up can like snap into like PTSD of themselves being sanguineous fighting Horus, and they will scream Horus's name like they're fucking Batman fighting the Joker.
Wingini?
Just going mental. Straight up going mental, bro. And it's because, like, their Primarch Sanguinius had the ability to fly. Like, he had wings. Like, mutant, like, white wings that would flap and shit. But when he died... Good God, why is that a thing? But when he died, the Emperor Mankind was there, and I think just enough, like, psychic energy that it was imprinted on all the Marines and future Marines that go through the same, like, initiation with Blood Angels. Crazy. It's called the Black Rage, I think. They also have the problem of the Blood Rage, which was even before Sanguinius was present in the chapter. That's when they become bloodthirsty and will eat their enemies, eat their own like dead comrades, and fight each other. Like, they will just savage.
Savage. Mm-hmm. They all are.
But no, more importantly, like, from the Horus Heresy, the Chaos Legions that do exist in large numbers would be
oopsie.
the Emperor's sons, which is Fulgrims. They exist almost as like a united legion for the most part, and then the Word Bearers, because the Word Bearers didn't fall to a certain Chaos God. It was Chaos Undivided, along with Perturabo's Legion. I think Perturabo's Legion is the largest of any legion, like Loyal and Chaos, because he pulled out of the battle on a...
Whipped it out. That's what he did.
Oh, no, he put it away and left the room.
No, he whipped it out.
He left the room. Horus whipped it out, died, And most of like Horus's legion, the Lunar Wolves, they died with their dicks in their hands on Earth. But Perturabo and his, I can't remember his legion's name, but they left. They left Earth because they knew it was going to be a losing fight with like Fulgrim Slanesh influenced legion just torturing and being like dommy mommies on civilians. But it was like it came down to him not being corrupted because it was basically 9 versus 9 Primarchs.
One time to shine.
Yeah, the Iron Warriors. The worst thing about it is that of all the like Space Marine Chaos bands, just the little raiding parties, they're mostly led by Abaddon, the Despoiler, which is like second hand to Horus. He has more just random Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, than even like Perturabo. The Perturabo has like the tactical skills and all that, but he's not, even as a demon, or a traitor Primarch, he doesn't have the charisma. He would do siege warfare for the Emperor for like 20 years straight. That was Perturabo's Primarch skill set, that he would do siege warfare to attack. He didn't like it, and he fell to chaos because of that, like, resentment.
Hate him.
He didn't complain about it. That's the worst thing about it. If he probably told the Emperor that he didn't enjoy constantly being in, like, grinding combat, he wouldn't have had to be in there. But yeah, it's a cautionary tale for a lot of the Primarchs of like toxic masculinity or just abuses of power. Because most of the fallen Primarchs are genuine examples of like terrible leadership. You got Perturabo, like I said, who just allowed his soldiers to be used as like human meat waves, and also just long drawn out combat. Then you get Angron, which is the worst Primarch of any of them, because he had these things called the Butcher's Nails. From the planet that he landed on, he's a genetic soldier, right? Like super soldier. He would age up just like clone troopers would in Star Wars, right? He had advanced aging, but because he's a Primarch, he is immortal. Like all Primarchs at the age of like 7 were 6 feet tall. They would eventually reach like 10 feet tall, right? But 7 years old, they would be man-sized. And because of that, Angron was forced into these gladiator arenas. His story is exactly the same as like Spartacus's story, like from Roman history. So, long story short, he was in arenas they also forced this surgery on him called the butcher's nails, where it made him want to fight, kill. And that's what he did. They threw him in a pit, and then they brought in the closest thing he had to a father figure. And he fought him. And he killed what was basically his best friend, father, all that rolled into one. And that led him to revolt. And during this time, right, you know what's happening in the galaxy?
What?
No, I'm asking you, like, straight up, like, do you know what's happening? Like,
oh, easy. My space Hitler from Solaris is pulling up. Behind mine?
No, that's 40K. That's the Tyranids.
Oh, my bad.
What is the Emperor doing? He just conquered Earth, right? He has the Space Legions. What is the Emperor doing?
Hold up. Telling you I need something. I don't know, Daryl. I don't even know.
What did the Emperor want to do for all, like, to all of mankind that separated, that fell apart?
I've been zoning. I would like come back every like minute.
Yeah.
I would come back every minute.
Tell.
I'll be honest. Like I would focus on the game for like a second, then I'll come back. I like tune in. You guys was watching this shit. You didn't see that shit. You didn't catch that.
Okay, can you tell me what happened to Earth, at least? Like, what happened?
I know what happened to Earth.
Yeah.
It died. It's just full of cockroaches.
What did the Emperor Mankind do to Earth?
I don't know. I didn't tune into that. Spooky, scary. Get in. Sorry, girl. I'm sorry. I would definitely watch your videos that you send me. I would definitely watch those. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, okay, so
It's not,
do you know what happens when the power goes out? Like in your home city. Do you know what happens?
Oh, gosh,
like, do you know what people did during COVID? You remember when people like fought over fucking toilet paper rolls? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So, what do you think is gonna happen when the power goes out? What do you think they're gonna do to each other?
Gasoline, maybe. Something.
What are they gonna do with food to each other?
Bobby, please, no! Didn't work out.
I get it now. This is why Major Kill talks the way he does. Good God. Like, have you and like your siblings ever fought over the last cookie or muffin in the kitchen?
What was it?
Really, dude?
I was talking about your sibling.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like you and Marcus, man.
No.
Shut up. Yeah.
No, the couple times he talked about 4K, he was like, listening, paying attention. Yeah. Mm.
Boom, boom, man.
Like, okay, how do you think people get desperate, right?
How bad do they get desperate? Oh,
Yeah,
I know how bad they get desperate. It's like so desperate.
like what they'll do, right?
I can't even say. I can't even. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't even say it, man.
But you can imagine what they'll do to other people, right?
Man, do so much.
All of that was
Bibbidi
happening.
bibbidi bibbidi.
Like in 40K, that's what's happening almost on every planet. Like in like the current like part of 40K, because there are planets where there are just massive cities, like cities literally 100 times larger
Okay.
than LA. Like
I've
you've
seen
been
how
in
big the
LA.
cities get. I've seen how big they get.
Yes, yes. So imagine what's going on in there, right? That's a big part of the lore because that's what the
massive.
Empire uses to scare people into wanting to be that and go into the military. That's what the Empire allows to keep happening in 40K, so they can have more recruits.
Cities get huge.
Mm-hmm. But the big purpose is also, yeah, to make a bunch of just metal, guns, industry, just anything. Like it's the base. It's a giant factory. It's called hive cities. And there's been times where even Tyranids can't take over a hive city. They haven't gotten in, but there's been like hive cities with massive guns on them and all. There's been times where hive cities. There was a planet called Cadia.
I've seen
That
Cadia,
that was
or heard of it. I've
yeah.
heard Cadia.
You've heard of it. Do you know why it's spoken about so many times? Because
Um,
all the
boom.
soldiers that yeah, the boom was the planet breaking apart, popping like a fucking like basketball popping, right? That was because
Boom.
the chaos. Yeah, yeah. The chaos armies that were trying to like take over the planet had so much warp energy going around it that it just fucking squeezed the planet. Because it was near the largest warp portal in the galaxy. Like that's where the warp dimension and our dimension like blurred their lines. And the guard, the military that Cadia had created, didn't surrender, didn't stop fighting.
It's like Soviets. Oh.
Yeah, that is like the society of 40K in a way. But on top of that, there's the religious, like, um, Inquisition, yeah.
Huge load. My gun down, man. I'll go clean. Fuck. Have you listened to that album I told you?
I don't see it anymore.
I fucking told you the name.
That,
I told you the name. Oh
all
my
the
God,
reels have covered it.
My bad, my bad. I haven't been looking at your reels. You send a fuck ton of reels. Hold on, 20 minutes. I'm looking at the videos you sent. Which one do I go first? I put these in like, make a whole ass playlist.
No, like, just like you said with the Soviet comparison, a lot of things in 40K are inspired by real life because it's set in our galaxy. It's just 38,000 years in the future.
Thousands. Can I open this in my app? Two years ago. Wow. Wait, how do I save these? Oh. There we go. There we go. I figured it out. Send me the same guy twice. Ah, shit. Doing a side. Daryl.
What? What did you say?
What is it? Kind of regret reinstalling this game. Getting me all angered, all worked up. All worked up, man. Angry. About to Hulk out. That's what I'm gonna do. Hear me? I'm Hulk the fuck out. Watch me. It's gonna be like the news right there. News right there.
Dude, you killed the vibe being a little tablet kid, you know that?
Tablet kid? What do you mean tablet kid?
Yeah.
Tablet kid out.
Having a goldfish attention span.
I'm sorry! It's just game.
No, man.
Look, you just gotta be here. You don't know it.
No, I swear to... No! Swear to God. I'm over here playing Stellaris, like, having to read and shit. I'm still able to talk.
Cause you know it. I gotta listen to it.
It's Siege.
Yeah,
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it is deep. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. I might say.
I would be talking faster playing Siege than Stellaris.
It's pretty deep, man. Oh shit. Alright. he go? Where's he gone? It's pretty deep. Dying. Really deep. Like,
you know, if anything, when you learn the skills from that, you ever have to defend your house. Like, that's what I'm getting at with, like,
no, that's like
power
Arma.
outages.
I like Arma.
No,
I like my position. I don't know. Look, man, I've
if
learned a
there's
lot of
power
stuff from Arma.
outages,
Look. Oh, power outages? We
straight
gonna
up,
that?
like, yeah, like, if the power goes out, you gotta defend your house, or if there's just straight up riots outside.
I mean, no, I don't think you can defend it anymore for me. You seen
No,
it?
dude.
No, like, you really can't.
This goes beyond laws of, like, your state. This just goes down to, are you going to have to fight for survival? Like, if COVID really became a
big one? The big one, like the,
a bugged out situation, like apocalyptic situation. Like when your community devolves into just violence.
Anger.
I'm not saying like a protest with a little riot. I'm saying straight up like a revolution breaking out, or just fucking really
like Civil War, like the movie Civil War. Like that, or
that's a war. There would be war zones in it. I'm saying.
Have you seen that Boy 4 mod?
No, I'm saying like Walking Dead, bro. It's
Walking Dead. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, like
you want to know about
not
the
anarchy, huh?
You want to hear about the Boy 4 mod I was just talking about, or no?
Is it the armor?
Boy 4.
So, I know, but it's an armor. Yeah, what's the way forward?
Alright, so there's like a mod you could choose. Like, I like this guy. This guy named Guy from College. Plays Boy 4, pretty good. I like him. So, I don't know how to explain the mod. You could choose like what? I can't explain it. I could probably send you a link. You want the link to the video?
Yeah, but
give me.
You can't explain it.
Yeah, you can't really explain it. It's like you would choose like it's like around 2020, 2019, like when fucking Trump was still in office before COVID started. Everything you play as America. I mean, you can.
Is it Millennium Dawn?
Huh?
Millennium Dawn?
I don't think so. But I just died. You got me killed, man. You got me killed. Why'd you do this to me?
Yeah, because you need to think straight, bro.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't grow up with fucking ChatGPT so I could just copy and paste on like paper.
Who does that? Who does that?
You said you were using it.
What?
Year. Fuck. I'm telling you, bro. It's just fucking thought 1, thought 2, thought 3. Instead, it's just like you're going from thought fucking blue to thought orange. Just fucking opposites.
Last one. You're fucking lying at your ass, man.
Scatterbrained. No, right now you sound scatterbrained, bro. I swear to God.
No. That's just no. You're just lying.
Wait, hold on. It's Sudan, and you're playing as the Congo? Like, look at all these resources that...
So what happened to Lorgar? Why did he fall to chaos? That made him fall to chaos on 40k.
I know it.
I told you.
Hold up, I just get it. I'm just barely checking the fucking Twitch. Baby Alexis. I don't know if you're still here. I didn't even notice. You followed? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. This is good.
That one?
That's
Yeah,
really good.
I tell you, that 44 mod is
And
good.
they're like World War III in a way, kind of mod.
Yeah.
I like that. I've watched a couple of videos with the mod. It's good.
U-Boat, have you seen U-Boat? Play as a German
Is that a
U-Boat.
YouTuber?
No, it's a game. Play as a German U-Boat, like in, you could choose 1940, early 1940, late war, like when they barely know about you, or when they actually know about you. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. I like the game. It's a pretty good game.
No, I haven't seen it. Sounds okay though.
He plays it.
Sounds okay. Okay. I don't know, I've been watching a bit of Hasanabi because of the election recently. That's been a lot of what I've watched. That and like Bestie Luffy, um, John Oliver, Last of Tonight. Just calm, not liberal or conservative, just calm. Honest journalism.
This is ass. Fuck this game.
Yeah.